Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Today we're going to be talking about Wanda speaking out against Keke's uncle and mother. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that bell button so you know every single time that I post. And everyone, please like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Now let's get into it. Wanda went live recently and titled it "The Most Unconcerned Family I Know." And I'm just thinking, what in the mess is going on? So she talks a little bit about Keke's sister and brother. She said that they're very sweet. To be honest, I don't know anything about Keke's sister and brother. But that's nice that at least she can start off saying they're sweet. But then she said that she was going to be talking about their mom and that they might be offended. And in my head, I'm thinking, why do it? If you know they're going to be offended by you talking about their mom, then why not do it? Why not just forget about it and don't speak on their mom? At the end of the day, I feel like Wanda expects or wants sympathy from people, but do you have that same sympathy for someone who just lost her daughter? Like, whatever the case may be, do you really have to speak on it? But yet, she is going to talk about it. So she also said that she's not a fan of their uncle. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I covered on this channel that the uncle was basically saying that he is not invited the Wanda family, essentially. So the Moors are not allowed to come to the homegoing ceremonies for Keke. So basically that was put out there. We covered it, we talked about it. So she's now responding now by basically saying that she doesn't know this uncle. She's never met him in her life. She doesn't really understand why he will say such thing. I think in terms of, she also mentioned something about being at football matches for Keke's son, but then she had never seen the uncle there. So essentially, she's like, I don't know who this uncle is. She also gave some context about the morning thing, the death of Keke happened. She told her friend, who is a blogger, to put out the statement. So she wanted her to do it before other people got out there and started putting things like Keke unaliving herself or ODing. So Keke's father basically gave her something to put out. To be honest, I completely understand that aspect of it. If Keke's father truly gave her permission to put out what she put out, then that is what it is, right? I feel like sometimes people put out statements to get out of other people, in particular bloggers, starting stories or having speculation or casting all sorts of doubt on whatever it is the issue is. So I understand like wanting to go ahead and put that out, because you don't know who would get the opportunity to put it out and whether or not the person will be tactful and sensitive in the way in which they put it out. But I personally think in the issue of someone's death, I think people are generally like quite tactful. Most people will be tactful. Of course, you may get one or two like Funky the Diva who may go all the way left. But most people are generally okay when people die and don't spew even more hate at that point. She said that the Keke's uncle, she didn't like that. Essentially, she also mentioned that the Moors also include Keke's dad. She said that the uncle didn't want them around, but he wasn't paying for anything at the funeral. I'm just like, oh my goodness, like we didn't need to know that. These are some of the things that I wish like people would keep to themselves in the moment. It's like, why do you have to bring that up for us who weren't at the funeral to find out about it? She also talked about how she spoke to Keke 3 or 4 weeks before Keke passed, and how they talked about like all the things that have been happening and how it was just temporary. She also said she doesn't know if Keke told anyone, maybe her mom, about the fact that they've reconciled. But as far as she's concerned, Keke's mom is only in her life because she wants to be on reality TV. I think that is a crazy accusation. Now, I don't know the mom personally to know whether or not it's true, but I just feel like even if that was the case, right now she just lost her daughter. So even if, I feel like she will be feeling distraught either way. So like, let's not then add to it by spewing such and putting such in the atmosphere. Now, she did also mention the fact that there was a balloon release for Keke, and Keke's mom didn't even think to take her grandkids to the balloon release. Now, first of all, that woman is going through a lot. She may not have even thought it through. Like, it's like being upset that you didn't get invited to a funeral. This person is going through a lot. They're not going to be thinking about every single detail. She is going through a lot. She may not have thought about it, or she may have thought about it and thought these children are too young for us to take them to this sort of event. Who knows? Like, I just don't think it's never happened to you, Wanda, and I pray it never happens to you, because the way you're pointing fingers at her, you don't know what you will do if you were in that situation. There are people that completely lose their minds and are not even able to show up to the funeral because they're in such a state. Like, if that was the case, would you be saying worse things about her? I just don't think it's fair. I feel like this was the opportunity for Wanda to come out, being a little bit more civil, not really talking about it, moving on and taking the high road. But yet, she still isn't taking the high road. It's clear that she doesn't learn, because why are you still doing this nonsense? She did also say, almost like insinuate that the funeral was a mess. I'm like, we did not need to know that. Can you let this woman rest in peace? And she basically showed up to pay her last respect. She talked about a cousin being cussed out. I'm like, okay, we don't need to know all of this information. And of course we're going to talk about it because you've talked about it. And then she's telling people to get out of her family affairs. I'm just like, how are people going to get out of it if you keep adding to it? It's like someone putting fuel in fire and saying to us, oh, stop fanning the flames. You started it. You are the one fanning the flames. You are the one giving people things to talk about. Like, most people are just ended it at RIP, but now you're giving more information and more information and more information. And of course, we're going to talk about it because we feel like you're hideous for the fact that you're bringing all of these things up. She did also mention that when Tisha said Keke was not ready for the show, people were saying that she was jealous. And then she tried to insinuate that someone slipped her through the back door. Now, of course, we know she's like trying to insinuate that Melody sneaked her through the back door. I feel like these are some of the things that people say that then makes it seem like, are you guys insinuating that she unalived herself? Because it's like, why would you say that? Okay, she's not ready, blah, blah. What does that have to do with anything? Are you trying to then cast doubts in our minds? And then if bloggers say it, then it's like, oh, you guys are saying that this is what happened. But then it's like, no, we are interpreting the information that you guys are giving us. Now, first of all, before anyone comes at me, I'm not saying she did. If you guys noticed, I've stayed away from speaking on the cause of death because I do not know. Unless there is a formal autopsy, I will not be speaking on what it is that was the cause of death, because I don't know. I'm not there, and I'm not a professional, a medical practitioner of some sort. I do not carry out autopsies, so I do not know. Not a coroner. I don't know. So like I said, unless something is formal, it's not something I want to speak on personally, because I just don't want to repeat something that I don't know for certain that it is. She did also talk about, she mentioned a blogger who got money through Cash Apps but didn't send it to the children. She said that the blogger got $1,200 out of people's money and didn't get a plane ticket to go to the funeral. She said she was going to expose a lot of stuff, but her family asked her not to do that. The thing is, if the family asked you not to do that, then why are you coming here to make this video and expose some things? It's like you either say everything or don't say anything at all, because it just feels like there's still gaps. Now, I don't know what blogger she's referring to, but I'm just like, if you're saying someone took money that was meant to be for Keke's children, that is a serious allegation. So I need you to come out and let us know who you're talking about and show us the receipts, because this is a serious allegation, and this is something where if you're taking food out of the mouth of children, that is a different kind of low. I'm not going to mention any names because you have not mentioned names. And I'm not going to mention names because you have not given receipts. So if you're going, because it's a serious allegation, it's not as simple as, oh, somebody didn't do something right. This is, you're basically saying this person scammed people out of money for the children of the deceased. Now, that is a serious allegation. I need receipts or something, or I need you to call by name so we know exactly who you're talking about. So when we're addressing it, we can make sure and try to verify if possible. I personally think, all in all, I don't think Wanda should have gone live to do this or talk about it. I think she should have just let things die down. There is no need for you to be talking about what happened at the funeral if it's not to say how amazing it was. There's no need for you to be coming at Keke's mom. She's already going through a lot. Those children are already going through a lot. There's no need to put their grandmother through more. Now, I do understand if she wanted to respond to Keke's uncle, that's fair enough, because he put stuff out there and you are well within your rights. If you want to respond, would I have taken the high road? Probably, but in her case, if she wanted to respond to that, he started it, is fair enough. But I think bringing Keke's mom into it and making it seem like she's not a good mom is not fair on her, because usually when someone passes away, I don't know the circumstances surrounding it, but sometimes when someone passes away, there is a tendency to feel some level of guilt, especially if you feel like the death could have been avoided in some way. So then making it seem like she's not a good mom and all she cares about was to be on reality TV show, that is outrageous. If you felt like she had a mom that didn't care enough for her, why weren't you better to her? Why didn't you treat her better while she was here? Those are the questions. So when you're quick to point fingers at other people, but look at yourself and say, what can I have done differently, and take responsibility for that. But I didn't hear none of that. Instead, it's, ooh, let me throw dirt at other people so everyone can forget about the things that I've done and start looking at the other people. That is all I have to talk to you guys about today, but I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. So let me know and let's continue the conversation in the chat. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post, and I'll see you guys in the chat. Thank you. Bye.